Namaste, everyone. Welcome to the Zen HairLife yoga series. This is a video for beginners and people who are new or have had some yoga practice. We're going to start off in a comfortable seated position with our hands placed on our thighs. Get nice and settled in your seat, firmly rooted in the ground, comfortably with a straight spine. Taking deep breaths in and out. On your inhale, bring your hands to touch at heart center. Come onto your hands and your knees. Place your hands shoulder width apart in front of you. Root your feet into the ground as well as your hands. Push your hips up to the sky and your thighs back. Push up into downward facing dog position as I am here. This is your first dog, so settle in. Make sure that your feet are pointing forward, and your goal is not to get your heels down to the ground, but to get your thighs back. Pull your torso forward into a plank position, and exhale, lower yourself down into chaturanga. On the inhale, lift your chest up, cobra. Tuck your toes and push back to downward facing dog. And we're going to do that once more. On the inhale, bring your right foot forward and between your hands for a lunge. Hands on the ground with your shoulders engaged. On your next inhale, and squeeze your thighs and lift your torso up to straight if you can. Bring your hands to your hips, and if you're feeling stable, lift your arms to the sky. On the exhale, lower your heel down to the ground for a warrior one position. And you can continue to have your hands on your hips if you are still unstable. Exhale your arms out to the side for warrior two. Inhale your legs straight and exhale your body over your right leg for triangle position. With your arm up to the sky, you can have your gaze down to the ground to keep balance, or up to the sky if you're familiar with this pose. Once again, bend your leg and come back down into a lunge position, but this time with your hands on the inside of your bent leg. This is to open your hips. Continuing to breathe, always breathing. On the inhale, re-straighten your leg and fold over the front leg. Continuing to breathe. To keep your balance, make sure that you're rooting your legs into the ground. On the inhale, push into your legs and thrust yourself forward into a forward fold or Uttanasana. Breathing. Nice, deep, solid breaths. Inhaling up to stand, lift your arms up to the sky, interlace your fingers and spin your palms up towards the sky. Bend your elbows to engage your shoulders onto your back and exhale over to the right Inhale back up to center and exhale over to the left. Inhale back up, release your fingers and take a nice deep back bend. And exhale down to forward fold. Once again, pushing back into downward facing dog. We're revisiting this pose. You want to make sure that your hands are pointed forward, that your shoulders are not loose, but they are engaged into your back. Pushing your hands down into the ground, as well as pushing your thighs back and your hips up towards the sky. This is not a passive pose. You are working very hard. On the inhale, pull your torso forward to a plank pose once again. And exhale down. Inhale up to cobra. Lifting your chest. Tuck your toes and back to downward facing dog. Breathing. Inhale your left foot forward, so we're doing second side. Lunge. Always continuing to breathe, making sure if it doesn't feel right, let go a little bit. Let off. Don't push yourself too hard. This is new for you. This is a learning experience. Inhale your legs straight and exhale, fold forward. Always lifting on the inhale and settling on the exhale. If this is a little bit too difficult for you, feel free to place your back knee on the ground. If this pose is too difficult for you, you can always keep your hands lifted instead of taking your forearms to the ground. Keep your fingertips or use something elevated like a block or a water bottle. Also, be aware that if you take a shorter stance in this Parsvottanasana, this forward fold, it'll be more difficult for you. So a wide stance is good for your back, for your legs, for your knees, for your hamstrings. A shorter stance will be more stress. And opening your heart, your shoulders and your chest up towards the sky. Back to downward facing dog. And I want to really emphasize this pose because this is one that in classes you will be doing quite often. So it's good to be familiar with something that is such an important pose. On the inhale, lift your leg up to the sky by pressing down into your standing leg, and inhale your shin parallel to the front edge of your mat. As you see here, you can keep your leg tucked, and that will keep your toes from sickling as mine sometimes do, which is okay. Keeping your fingers on the ground and your hips lifted is better on your low back and also for tight hips. So really pulling your thighs in, engaging your thighs, strongly will keep your hips lifted and make this more of an opening pose and less of a strenuous pose, as it is difficult even so. Folding forward over your bent leg. This is one that is great for tight hips, great for opening and expanding. You can take a nice rest in downward facing dog if necessary. If not, go ahead and do your second side of pigeon pose. As you see on this side, my left hip is not dropped, it is lifted. And that gives me a lot of elevation and space in this pose for different variations and to keep my low back and my hips safe all the time. Here, we're opening up our hips in a different way. Maybe that's more familiar to you. This is something that babies do often. This is a very calming pose for tight knees and tight hips. It might be difficult, but this is something you want to try to work to. And if your heels don't touch the ground, that's okay. And breathing always. And extending your leg across your body. As far as it can go. Back up to center, and then take your leg out towards the outer side. And switch legs. And now, prepare for Savasana. Relax your jaw, your legs, all of your joints and muscles, and release yourself into the earth. Even if you're not outside as I am, let your body sink into the ground. Let your breath go as it may, and let your body be still. And come to seated position. Close your eyes and bring your hands to heart center. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving yourself this practice. Thank yourself for giving yourself the time. Namaste. Hope you guys enjoyed this yoga video. Try this at home. Add this into your home practice, or if you're just starting, I hope this is helpful for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Namaste.